Righto. Right.
What's up, dude?
Effing oh. Well, you know what we're here for. Episode 1.
Episode 1, yeah.
Saying things to each other.
How was your week? How's it been?
It's been absolute garbage. I, as you know, have gone through a breakup recently, and that's been rough. Mourning my mom and trying to make work happen. And yeah, it seems like a lot of hard things are happening in the world and or all of my friend circle and family circle. So yeah, picking the moments of joy where I can. But yeah, it's been tough, which I'm sure everyone can relate.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the end of the year especially brings about this like warping of time and this speeding almost, or this pressure maybe sometimes to like launch into the new year, especially if we've all had rough ends or if this year has been a little tumultuous for people. There's very much this want to like tie up all the loose ends and then walk into the new month, the new year, and like set all these goals and go. And
January, here it comes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I know I've preached to you before, but like, I don't actually feel like it's a new year until February. Like
for sure.
Actual Chinese New Year feels a lot more like a new year for me that we're through the winter and it's kind of turning.
Yeah.
Whereas the traditional calendar.
I feel the new year settle in my body more in the spring, but collectively I do feel the energy of like New Year's Eve and Christmas and the holidays and like the darkness of the sort of beginning of the winter season, really, because that's when it starts. Like winter starts at the end of the year, technically.
Depending where you live.
Yeah, I guess so.
Where we live in British Columbia, Canada. It gets real dark in the winter.
Yeah.
Real dark.
Yeah.
And it's wet. So it's kind of... well, let's broach topics.
Yeah, let's get it.
This is episode 1, ladies and gentlemen. We had written down some ideas because we just want to, talk about stuff that is relevant to us and hopefully relevant to you. This first question I'll pose to Alex.
Sure.
And we'll just start from there. What does love need to flourish? What does love need to flourish?
I feel like first thing that popped to mind was security. I mean, I'm sure that there's going to be lots of things. There's lots of answers to this question, but I'll go with first thought, best thought. A sense of security. I think a sense of safety. And that immediately to me sort of leads into this idea of, or this lack of a power struggle. Something I was reading recently kind of said that in a really like succinct way of just like love and power don't really coexist. If someone's wanting to like maintain that power over another person or gain power or keep it all the time, probably not going to be a loving relationship or a loving union that you're in.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So have you experienced power dynamic in your relationships, or has your relationships been more about the love?
Well, it's funny you asked it because then immediately I'm like, I would say I think it's been more about the love, but at the same time, we're humans. I think there's always like subtle power dynamics going on at play. I don't know if I don't think it was like a conscious thing of like, I always need to be in control and what I say needs to go and you need to listen to me and all these things. But yeah, I don't think it was ever coming from this place of one person intentionally trying to stay above or in dominance over the other person.
We talked about openness too. Like love, to be actually in love with someone, I believe, and I believe a lot of stuff, and I'm pretty blunt about it. But like, if you don't have an openness in yourself, and not just an openness to be like, okay, here's me, but also here's who I am. I feel like the path for love to flourish, in my opinion, is someone has to have walked far enough on their path, whatever that looks like, regardless of traumas and everything else, to get a good sense of self, not necessarily knowing yourself, because I spend my whole life trying to know myself and I don't know shit. But a good sense of knowing, so that when they open, it's not just a path like, oh, like you line up and I feel this way about you and I like how you look and I like these things that you like and now I love you. It's like, no, I think that openness has to be there, and that connection to their sense of self and the connection to your sense of self. That would be like if I was to like just popcorn right off the bat, that's what would come out for me.
So then, to kind of turn the question around and combine both of ours, do you think someone needs to be fully secure and open to themselves before they can do it?
What do you mean by fully
Outwards?
secure? What's fully secure?
I don't know, maybe not like in terms of perfectly, like that you have everything figured out and your whole life is neat and tidy, but this idea that maybe you wake up, or you can look at yourself in the mirror and walk out into the world and be like, fuck yeah, I'm me. Like I'm,
I mean, shit.
I'm
How many
great. Like,
how many people do you think wake up, walk out into the world and go, oh, fuck yeah, I'm me? Like, probably most people aren't, honestly. Like, I don't know. I can't sample the 8 billion people on this planet. I can say, for the most part, under optimal circumstances, I can walk out of my place and be like, this is it. I don't play a game. I don't put on a show. Like, people may assume what I am is a show. Well, that's why I do the job that I do, because I am kind of showy. But I'm not trying. This is just it. Like, confidence is just the sense that this is the authenticity I have worked towards to reveal to you, that you can choose to accept or not. Whether it's what you want or not, I honestly don't care. I mean, you know this. Like, yeah, we've known each other a long time.
Yeah.
FYI.
Yeah. So then, is it safer to say that maybe like a cool acceptance with where you're at is more important than this sort of like fully secure confidence that we all strive for?
Yeah, that's way more of a responsible take. Like, okay, accept where your current circumstances are, because like we've said, like everyone has a completely different history, and if we're coming in to a love, like we're looking for love or searching, or we think it's happening, like they may not line up exactly with what you want or what your path has been to how you arrived at your station. They're going to have a completely different. It's just about, are they in a place where they're ready to meet that face to face and show up with like their relative confidence of like, this is where I'm at now. What's up?
Yeah.
What stunts love and prevents its emergence? What stunts love and prevents its emergence?
I mean, again, I'll go with my first thought. Greed. I would say greed. This sort of like wanting to extract something from someone, whether that's physically, whether that's care that you perceive that they might provide that you think you're lacking, and you're like, oh yeah, I can get this from them, and you just acquiring. So maybe like, a selfish sort of greed, that you're only entering that place of love from the desire to take.
What do you mean by take? Take what?
Everything. Services, emotions, money.
Consciously or unconsciously? Because, people aren't always conscious about when they're taking or what they're taking.
Yeah.
They're like, this is what I'm used to.
That is true.
You just can't always know. And then are you judging them based on what they're unconsciously taking?
Yeah.
And then is there also some of your own cognitive bias,
which I think is so slippery, because often we could probably be unconsciously giving.
Yeah.
Or if you're a natural giver and you're like, oh no, this is normal, until someone maybe points out to you, be like, you did all that for that person, and you're like, oh yeah, huh.
Yeah, I showed up for you. I massaged you. I fed you. That list can go on, and they might just be like, but this, you didn't do this.
Yeah. Or I didn't ask for any of those things.
Yes.
but the one thing I did ask for, you didn't do. And that's the thing that's
Yeah.
going to stick out.
And now you're trying to put all that on me?
Yeah.
And, you know, that could...
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what stunts its emergence? I should probably say something about that. What stunts its emergence? Oh my God, so many things. I think, I mean, as we've talked about before, relationship history is something I look really deeply at when I'm learning someone new.
All relationships? Or do you focus mostly on
let's talk about, like, say, intimate relationships. Because friendships and intimate, like, yeah, there's a lot of similarities, but let's just talk intimate just because.
Yeah.
Is their relationship history. I think that can stunt the emergence. And what I mean by that is looking at what dynamics they've moved through. So did they have a relationship where they had a power dynamic and they were maybe pushed down, or maybe they were gaslit, or maybe they were verbally abused, or, you know, all the varieties of that. And not to place judgment on that they have gone through those said things, but how they moved through it, where they've come from it, how far they are from it. Because say they were just in a relationship where the partner one had a power dynamic over the other. Let's just say, for example, how did you move through that? Were you passive the whole time? Did you just roll over and they just did that for years? Or was it, as soon as it came up, it caused a conflict, and then the relationship broke up, and, you know, you found your sovereignty and kind of moved on from it? Both will say a different thing about how that person deals with conflict, how that person moves through conflict, what choices they make for themselves, what kind of resilience is there, what kind of friend network or support network that they have to move through that, because that's gonna matter in your relationship. Do they have a support network that's not you?
Yeah,
I mean, like, to say that you wouldn't look at that is silly. To just be like, oh, but I love you, or like, I like your ass, and like, or like the way that we like have sex, or like we have really good conversations. But what about when all of that is swept aside and it's a conflict? How do you deal with conflict?
Yeah.
How have you dealt with conflict? And so, like, for me, like, looking at relationship history is something that I could see stunting the ability to fall in love, because love is more than just creating the friendship, which usually is how a relationship starts. You kind of, you know, have the conversations, and you have the intimate conversations, the touch conversations. But yeah, that's a big one that I look at a lot is what is the relationship history and how do they move through it?
Are there, I guess, red flags? Are there like big standouts that when they come up, you're kind of like, put you on guard a little bit? Because obviously it's, you know, if you're not trying to judge them for it and be like, hey, what happened. If you're saying that you maybe moved through it or healed, or, you know, you're cognizant of that situation or that thing, but are there still things that kind of you maybe bank for later and you're like, okay, noted. Like,
yeah. You know, I ask super deep questions. You know this. When I'm dating someone, I'll just I'll be like, have you cheated on someone?
Yeah.
And how did you do it? How did you move through it? Did you tell them? Did they find out? Like, let's talk about some realness.
Yeah.
Tell me something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not like, what's your favorite color and what's your favorite shoes? It's no, like, tell me something like that so I can know you.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about looking at flags coming up, I'm going to ask some deep questions and see how they respond. In terms of the relationship thing, I think if they, I don't know if it's a red flag, could be more of a yellow flag, but if they just kind of like let it linger for a long time, I'd look at the extraneous circumstances. Like, did they have a friend support? Did they have family support? Did their friends or family even know? Because sometimes people hide these conflicts that are happening. Like, no, we're fine in the relationship. This is like, we're good. You know, and people are like, are you sure though? Like, oh, yeah. Right. If someone really swept it under the rug for a long time, I that would be a yellow flag for me for sure, because I am a communicator, as you know. I like to share my heart and have their heart shared, and I want to hear, and I like the feeling of flow between two people. So if I'm looking and there's not going to be a feeling of flow, but they say they really like me and I can tell, obviously I'd probably really like them too if I want to be in love, and they're kind of hiding some things, like, I decided not to say this because I didn't want him to feel bad, or I thought he would like this, or I thought that, you know, et cetera, he would want this. when I find that out, that is definitely a yellow flag, because I want a truthful conversation in my relationship. So whatever the relationship is, it's two truths coming. Whether we agree or not doesn't matter, because then we're going to enter conflict and we're going to have to sort that out. And that is going to be the basis of your relationship. Not when it's, oh, we agree on everything and this is what you want, so this is smooth. I'm going to say what you want because it's smooth. No, I don't. It's not. I don't necessarily want smooth unless it's naturally like that. I want to know your history, and if I want to know if you're willing to say your truth. And it's also always going to be a challenge for me to accept that and go, oh, I don't agree.
Yeah.
So that's a yellow flag for me. Do you have any? Any yellows or reds?
Yeah, and after sort of listening to you, what came up for me was more of a like definitely learning how they've been through challenging moments with partners, or how they've gone through being treated poorly or treating someone else poorly.
Yeah.
But also this notion, I think, that like the sort of undertone around it all, that like how they talk about these past relationships. Like, are they like just shit talking these people and dragging them through the dirt?
Ooh.
Because I could also even warm up to someone who like theoretically maybe they were cheated on, maybe they were treated like abused and blah blah, and then they've since that they're at this point where they're like, yeah, I've come to terms with it. Like, I would never want to be with that person again, and I don't wish them ill, but like, you know, or are they still just like spitting venom? Are they still full of like anger and hate? Are they trashing their exes? Are they, you know?
Is that a red or a yellow?
It's kind of a yellow.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like a yellow one for me. It's like I want sort of like, I want to feel the energy of how you talk about your past, and sort of even how you look at it now, talking about it, how you look at your own actions, how you look at other people's actions, and
but if they were really distraught and really got hurt by it, are you going to place judgment if they still have some vitriol?
No, absolutely not. But even I still think even within that, the way they choose to present that to a new person can be very telling.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
How do you feel about love right now? How do you feel about the current culture of moving towards love? Like, what are some hardships for you?
Well, I guess the little backstory to that is that just over a year now, I got out of a long-term relationship. We'd been together for 5 years. And right now it feels a little weird. Honestly, it feels, I feel a little bit hopeless, a little bit defeated. Been trying to date. It's been really hard to get people to like commit to hanging out, to going on dates. That may be a consequence of living in this city. I've heard that before. Previously, I hadn't experienced it. And even though I was in a long-term relationship, we did experiment with opening it up within the last year. But yeah, feeling it's both, because I feel really sort of confused and hopeless, and I just think cynicism is sometimes easy to sit in, because then you don't have to care, you don't have to open, you don't have to be vulnerable. You can just be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing this. I'll just do me. I'll just, that's a nice little like safety blanket sometimes.
Of course.
But at the same time, my eternal soul knows that it exists, and it knows that it's out there, and it believes that it's speeding and finding its way to me right now. And even though that might not happen in the timeline that I want it to on this earthly plane, like I am in full belief and confidence that it will happen again. And that like little ember of thinking about that, and if I can like stoke that, fan that flame, like really lights me up. And I can just lay there and like visualize and like remember moments, and almost remember moments that I haven't even had yet, because
Or moments that you want to have.
Yeah. So
what do you think the challenge is in the current state of the world, and let's say North America as that's where we're at,
I mean, again, there's so many, but I think one of the biggest challenges right now is in our lives in general, from relationships to work to how you make money to anything. Like, we have so many options, And the messaging for a long time now has been like, oh, if you don't like this thing, start again. Just start your career again. Like, our parents were never like that. You can just start it. You can move somewhere else. You can get a visa here. You can just like, oh, that's not working for you. Cut it out. Start again. And while that is true, while there's a lot of truth to that, I think in the relationship sphere, we've taken advantage of that, myself included sometimes. Like it's easy to just be like, oh, this isn't working. And my parents made something work for years and years and years, and we're miserable and miserable and miserable, and watching them still be miserable or something. And you're just like, never mind, I don't want that. I'm just going to stop. And I think it's this, to titrate that down, it's this idea that I can find something better. So the moment this isn't really working for me, or isn't in alignment, or lighting me up the way I
whatever
thought it was,
buzzword is the new thing.
Then you are fully within your right to turn away from it, and everyone will clap and be like, "Wow, you're so empowered! Get that thing, get yours.
Yeah,
you're fully empowered to turn away from it, and then go about adjusting your life to manifest.
Yeah, manifest.
That ideal love.
That is the thing that I think has kind of become a little bit toxic. Is I could get into all the buzzwords, but like manifest, manifest this and manifest that. And in relationships, people go so hard to like, and I've done this. I've taken a piece of paper and I've put all these traits down, and I've been like, I want to meet someone who hits these marks, so that they're a well-rounded human being that I think will synergize and we won't waste each other's time. So to a degree, I'm guilty of the same thing. Like I'm going to manifest someone like this. Now, I don't know exactly what they're going to look like or what culture they come from, what language they speak, but I can say like, I want these traits. And to a degree, I think it has worked. But I have found in that culture of manifesting is that it's become a little toxic, in that it's like, okay, well, you don't line up exactly with this, like, say, family value or my ethos around, and this is why I don't like politics in relationships, because as you can see, like, there's not many conversations happening on those kind of things. Is you're manifesting such a list that someone becomes a list and not a feeling. And I think the best relationships I've ever had are a feeling. And it wasn't because I went, they drive a green car, they like, trees with dangly bits, they have the same charisma as me. Like, no, it's a feeling you have between them. And sometimes you're really different, sometimes you're really similar, and sometimes there's conflict and you have to work through it. And I see the beauty in coming together with someone in feeling and working through conflict. Whereas I feel like the whole manifesting, it's like, okay, we had a conflict. Well, I don't like this conflict. It reminds me of something I had in my past, so I don't have to have this.
Yeah.
I can get something. I can find a man, or I can find a woman who is better, who tunes into that. There's 8 billion people. All these sayings we have. There's so many fish in the sea and blah, blah. We always have these things where you can just cast your reel again, pull someone else in. But, my ethos is that I feel like really giving someone a chance and really moving through. Obviously, if there's an energy that shifts and you guys are not aligned and someone's being treated really poorly or being abused in any way, of course, like, cut that. But I feel like, manifesting as a culture has become this like social media buzzword that everyone uses to just justify whatever they're doing. Oh, I manifested money, so I'm screwing a bunch of people now, making a ton of money, but I manifested it. Look at me. Or I manifested all these cars or all these women or all these men, whatever. Like, it's become excess. Yeah. The whole excessism, which is another arm of consumerism. And I feel like manifesting has now tied in with consumerism. And that's where I kind of feel icky about it, which is why I don't like preach that word a lot. But I do believe in the ethos of course, generating and manifesting feelings you want in your life. Like, I want to feel respected. I want to feel loved. I want to feel seen and heard and have I want to manifest friendships that matter and people who support me and relationships that are genuine, where we share our life but still have our own lives. Like,
it's definitely a murky subject, because I do also believe in the power of being magnetic and like drawing things towards you with magic,
which happens
with
to you.
energy. Yeah, for sure, it does.
Happens,
But also, I wanted to touch on something that you said. Oh my God, I lost it. I had it and I lost it, and it might come back or it might just
It's fine.
be
We
lost.
can always cut this bullshit.
Yeah, I think it might be lost for now. Oh my God, it's right there. That frustrates me.
That's fine. We can always cut.
Yeah.
Well, money.
Oh no, it was to do with, it was this, the notion you talked about with challenges. You said that when you did this, that was it. It was the coming together and like working on the challenges together is what makes the relationship kind of exciting, or it can make it better and stronger. And I think it's ironic because we live in a society that's so hell-bent on being like, you gotta challenge yourself all the time. People doing crazy amounts of cold plunges and whatever, however they want to just like inject challenge into your life, which is true. You do need to do difficult things. I think we all like, we can all acknowledge that. But for some reason, maybe it's Hollywood, maybe it's the media we've grown up with, when it comes to loving romantic relationships, we fantasize, or we imagine that it's just going to be easy, that it's just going to be this breezy ride the whole time. And I think there's something said about like often it, you know, if it's volatile all the time, maybe you need to take a step back and look at it. But yeah, again, just this notion of like, for some reason in relationships, when it gets bumpy, it's really easy to just peel back and manifest something better, the next best thing, rather than do the coming together and the closer and having it.
And use the energy that you need to use to move through that challenge, because there's no challenge that will ever come in your life that you're like, we just move through it. Maybe there's some that are quicker than others, and some of them are just a quick conversation. But sometimes a challenge could be having to have a conversation and then having space to let both of you relatively think and process and then come back. And the challenge is, can you sit in that time? Can you wait, you know?
And this is even me, like, fully transparent, talking to myself. Like, I can look back at instances where I'm now like, oh, maybe I could have sat with that and been more patient. Maybe I could have tried harder. Maybe I could have investigated or asked myself what trying harder might have looked like. You know, hindsight is perfect in that way, where then you can look back at it and pull it apart and look at all these things. But yeah, I definitely succumb to the horizon of, oh, I might find something better, or, oh, there's more, or, oh, I haven't done enough yet.
Yeah.
I should. Yeah.
Well, you're also at that age. You're
that's
turning
true.
31, and you want to.
But at the same time, I think I know that generally, like, my life has been better when I look at the periods when I was with someone in a committed place. I think I do prefer that.
Yeah.
I think my belief is that, like, I do better in a partnership. It's not like I need to depend on the person, but I have shortcomings, that person has shortcomings. Likely we meet in the middle and we make up for those things. We help each other in different ways. I think it's beautiful.
And you've said this exact verbatim. You've said that a lot of the challenges we need to overcome in life, you quoted this, I can't remember where it was from. A lot of the challenges that we overcome in life are through relationship or in relationship.
Yeah.
So in a relationship, a lot of the things that we really need to heal happen in partnership with someone. And there's sometimes the most challenging things that ever happen. And they're not a challenge because you two aren't a match, but because you both need to work through it and find a solution together. And that is just fucking hard.
Yeah.
And you're right. A lot of people go, oh, no, done. Yeah. Don't have the energy for this. Don't have the time for this. I'll find something that's a bit easier or a bit more. But will you?
Or even maybe it's not like challenging, but it's boring.
Yeah.
And boredom can be super threatening. Like, think of how hard it is to just sit with boredom sometimes and like allow your creative mind to take hold and flow and do its thing. And like boredom is something, it's like such a big red flag, especially in relationships where, you know, again, maybe it's media, whatever you're informed, but I think it's common to think like, oh, this should also be like fiery and spicy all the time. And,
but also be peaceful
and novel, and we should be doing something new. We should be going to a new restaurant every night.
Yeah. Whereas, like, I feel like the ethos of us is, like we say, can you chill? Do you know how to chill? Do you know how to sit in a moment, be with somebody, which has now become this nostalgic retro thing, to be still and present without your phone, without any influence. Maybe just look at each other. Maybe just watch the trees blow. Maybe watch the river and watch the way the waves, and nothing is said. And in that instilled boredom, I think boredom is the wrong word. It's more just letting yourself be created in a moment. So when you're witnessing something, a creation comes through and you're like, oh, that reminds me of this, or that feels like this. And it doesn't even need to be said sometimes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
and so even building on that, just like sometimes sharing the space to like being in a room with someone, even if you're not like doing an activity together or conversing or talking about a subject, you're both just kind of, you know, I could be sitting there like stretching and I could have a girlfriend on the bed or something, like reading a book, and we're not really doing the same thing, but it's just like, okay, yeah.
You're co-creating the space.
Yeah, we're hanging.
Yeah. Well, we've come to a time.
We have come to a time.
I think this is a natural place to kind of close.
Don't know if we actually covered a topic.
Yeah, I don't know if we covered a topic, but we talked a lot about things. Anyway, take care. Thanks for tuning in, and more things will be said in the future. Boom, 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 boom. Beep.